cafe anyway. It's a cafe anyway type of place.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to Cafe Anyway. I'm Mike Matthews, and this is Mike's Daily Podcast. Today we are at FFF episode 2475.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2475. It's been an interesting day, and I'm glad I'm alive, and people are doing some things, and they're changing things. Oh my. There's change in the air. Can you feel it? Does it make you dance? Does it make you scared? I guess some people might be a little frightened, but it's going to be okay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But I'm here today doing another podcast, keeping it daily, everybody. So that's good.
Mike's
Trying to
Daily
be consistent
Podcast.
as best I can.
Yeah!
Gonna try to avoid talking about Duncan Sheik today. That's my plan. We'll see if that happens, if that comes to fruition. And talking about stuff like what was that? Mono whales. I haven't had any votes yet for mono whales. Make sure if you want to vote for mono whales, you vote for mono whales in the Mike Matthews New Tunes feud. The Mike Matthews New Tunes feud. Or Michael Matthews, however way you'd like to call me. What is the Chandrayaan 2? I have no idea what this is. It's, I guess we're about a month ago, we had the 3-year launch anniversary of ISRO. I guess that would be the Indian Space Agency. And there's Chandrayaan 2. It made India proud. They got a lunar mission called Chandrayaan 3. Interesting. Led by 2 women scientists. It was the world's first mission to explore the moon's south pole.
And here's today's podcast picture.
How come us Americans didn't think about that? Weren't we all curious about the South Pole? I mean, that's where Santa lives. The moon's North Pole. Oh, that's why. The South Pole. That's where they got all the penguins. But on the moon, I don't know. They got a lander and rover designed to operate on solar energy. Oh, that was Chandrayaan 2. Oh, the late great Basil the Boxer. He never went to space. But he did enjoy walking all around the space known as the Bay Area. And we're in Podcastro Valley, the last place on Earth, Cafe Anyway. All these fine people enjoying themselves. It was the cheapest spacecraft built with half the budget of Avengers Endgame. Wow. Interesting. The Vikram lander crash landed on the lunar surface during its soft landing attempt, but its orbiter is still functioning. ISRO, the Indian Space Agency, is currently preparing to launch Chandrayaan 3, and that will be next year in 2023. Okay. And it will only carry the lander and rover to replace the damaged components from Chandrayaan 2, but not an orbiter. So there you go, the whole space race going on in India these days. I have an article here about the bearded boys of South Indian cinema. These handsome men from the South cinema are the nation's current heartthrobs. This is an audio podcast, so that will not really work or go over well on the podcast side. But beards are coming back, everybody. They look better on some people than others. I've got the beard that's kind of the salt and pepper thing happening. Salt and pepper here, we're gonna rap. That was the song. Those were the lyrics, exactly. I think. Maybe not. I do remember when that song came out is about the time I got started in radio. And I used to run a 3-hour show. It came to us on records, and I saved a couple copies. I still have this. It was hosted by Jeff White. It was called American Dance Tracks. It was sort of the dancier version of Casey Kasem's show. And I would run it on Sunday nights. From 8 to 9, we had a live feed from LA. It was called Hitline USA. And it was these two people, a woman and this guy with a deep booming voice. And they interviewed people like Billy Idol, Chicago, Hart, Tom Petty. I remember Tom Petty on the show saying that he liked Crowded House. That's one thing I remember. Sticks out in my mind. Another thing that sticks out in my mind that's very interesting about the Kate Bush song getting so popular these days. And I'll tell you what the podcast picture is in a moment. I think we'll go with something for... Oh, yeah, I was in Niles today. That's near Fremont where I work. And I was walking around Niles and I got some neat pictures. I'll post a picture. You can see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. But yes, the song Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. Do you know who was a big fan of that song? Chris Martin from Coldplay. And I don't remember if I must have read this somewhere. I used to read... let's see, Borders Books and Music used to have a free magazine they'd give away to people when you walked in the door. And I think Tower Records also had a free magazine. It was in one of their magazines. I'm leaning more of the Borders magazine. And it was Chris Martin saying that the song Speed of Sound. Birds, they're flying at the speed of sound, and you can hear it and you'll understand, and you hear it that you understand. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. That was Chris Martin saying he was trying to play Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill. You know, and her song goes, bam, 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 ba-da-dum. True, look it up. I don't know if you can find it on the internet, but that story, I know for sure. I remember reading it. And my brain is a sieve. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. So I know it must be true. The world is not enough for Indian snacks. Yes, we're going very Indian today. The humble samosa has gone global. I had a samosa this past weekend from a local place that does Burmese food. Indians have taken the humble samosa and parantha global. Bacano is a Bacano. You can tell I'm from California. Bacano Indian snack company has made a lot of money through exports last year and is confident about seeing a growth of over 75% this fiscal year on the back of its popular paranthas and samosas. Fascinating. It's getting big. The appetite for Indian snacks and foods across borders. India's favorite tea time snacks. It's going beyond the borders of the country of India. Bacano World, company behind all this, tested the international waters by targeting the Indian diaspora, and soon enough, foreigners also started growing fond of its aloo bhujia and parathas. Parathas is what and samosas. There we go. Fascinating. So there you go. This taking over the world. And I noticed boba, I forget what country that originated in, but there are boba tea places popping up all over the place. I see over in Tennessee, the boba tea is popping up. It fascinates me. Stuff just goes around the world. A 102-year-old woman says the secret to a long life is staying single and not getting married. This was a lady in Scotland. She's revealed her secret to a long life is staying away from the opposite sex. Kathy Hillock, who recently celebrated her 102nd birthday. This story came out July 28th from the Irish Daily Mirror. Told fellow residents and staff that she credits the lack of men in her life as one of her secrets to reaching the milestone birthday. And she's at the Beechwood Care Home, and the activities coordinator said all the staff and residents at Beechwood had a fantastic time celebrating her 102nd birthday. It's always wonderful to be able to find unique ways to make each birthday party special, and Kathy was delighted to be able to celebrate her milestone birthday with family and friends, and said how happy she was to know everybody was thinking of her. Fantastic. The Irish Daily Mirror ran a poll to say, is she on to something with her secret to longevity? And a little more than 50, actually 52% said yes, 28% said no. And I don't know what the 19% said. Oh, 19% said she's 100% correct. Okay, those are three interesting choices. By the way, you can... Oh, Zach Braff has split from Florence Pugh. Did you know... Oh, and by the way, that party was a Roaring Twenties Great Gatsby party, themed party that they had for the 102-year-old Kathy. What was my... Oh, did you know... Wow. And that just left my head. That was going to be a good one, too. Because I was talking about Zach Braff. What was his movie? Garden State? I've seen that a couple times. I was discussing with my lovely lady friend an interesting topic. Movies when I was married, my ex-wife wanted to watch over and over and over again. So, in being married, I would sit and watch these movies with her. They included Garden State, as well as My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Today is your lucky day. Today you're going to get baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church. That's my one line I can remember from that movie. That and the thing about the kimonos. But, oh, by the way, the Greek Festival is happening in Podcastro Valley today, or this weekend. But today in Podcastro Valley was quite hot. That's why we're hanging out here outside a cafe anyway. And it's supposed to be much cooler tomorrow, thankfully. So the other movie she enjoyed was Wayne's World, So I Married an Axe Murderer, because those were the two really good Mike Myers movies. The movies that people may or may not know of, Karina with the late Ray. He just passed. I'll think of him in a second. And Whoopi Goldberg was in it too. Then the guy... Oh, she also enjoyed Stepmom with Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts. So... Those movies, I remember I've seen over and over and over again. It's crazy. There was one other one you may not have heard of called The Family Stone with Rachel McAdams, Craig T. Nelson, and Sarah Jessica Parker. Fascinating. And one other fascinating thing to tell you is the song Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. Originally, Mickey Thomas was going to sing the Grace Slick part, and Grace Slick was going to sing the Mickey Thomas part. And the producer last second flipped them around because Grace Slick sounded better on the part that she now sings. Let them say we're crazy. What do they know? Put your arms around me. And the rest is history. It was the first time Diane Warren, a song that she wrote, went to number one. She would later write How Do I Live Without You, Unbreak My Heart, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Do You Believe in Life After Love, To the Beat of the Rhythm of the Night, and all that stuff. But speaking of songs, it's time now for the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. And here we go. We've got two songs here. And this is... Oh, okay. we got a guy named Roy Trout, and his song is called Sugar Boy. Okay? Sugar Boy. Here we go. Let's see what Sugar Boy... We're going to only play a little bit so we don't get dinged. All right. Do you like Roy Trout better? Or do you like, let's see, another... And people email me these song... Wow. Where did all my song suggestions go? I thought I had a wealth of songs. So you'll have to send me a song to mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And I guess we'll go with another Alexis Castro Giovanni song. All right. This is called To Catch a Feeling. And hold on. Okay. That's Alexis Castro Giovanni or Roy Trout. Which one did you like better? You can call me 336 Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. Is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast is. Look who's here. Hi, Matt. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
That's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I think it's great that y'all are featuring music from musicians and whatnot.
Yeah, I'd play something from you, but you don't play any stuff anymore. Because you used to play the fiddle, but you stopped.
Yeah, because I'm disgruntled. I'm the disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
That's all I got.
And look who else is here. Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer hairstyle right now. Excellent. Let me try this root beer. Oh, that's pretty good.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
That's what I was just doing. So, what did you think of the song? Once again, you can call me at...
Call now. 336 Daily.
Yes, 336. 3 plus 3 equals 6. That is. Is in Mike Matthews. That is. And Daily. That is. As in Mike being daily, as I've been for a couple of days. And you can also email me and... No, it's not COVID. With more on that. It's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!